Hello, parents. Thank you for coming out tonight. We do appreciate you being here. I was on mute the whole time talking. Doc didn't tell me anything about it. Thanks, Doc, for helping me out. So glad that you guys could join us for our May Parent Partner Network meeting tonight. Our focus tonight will be on mental health awareness. That's what May is, Mental Health Awareness Month. And we got a dynamic speaker who's going to get us started today. We're going to change the format today. We're going to have Ms. Brown-Fidel speak, and then we're going to have a Crystal speak at the end. So thank you again for coming, parents, to our May meeting. And Ms. Brown-Fidel did a workshop for us, a parent workshop last school year, a four-part series talking about parenting during the pandemic. Did a phenomenal job. So we asked her back to come and be a blessing to these parents again this year. So we're going to get started. Ms. Fidel, is all yours. I lost her. I don't think it. Morris, is she on there? I don't see her.
I do not see her.
She got disconnected some kind of way.
She might have.
All right, parents, give us 1 second. Our speaker, some kind of way, got knocked off. But in the meantime, Ms. Morris, you go ahead and get us started. And then when she comes back on, I'll admit her.
Of course. Good evening, parents. I am Assistant Principal Mrs. Kelly Morrison of the elementary building. And I just wanted to go through a couple updates and events that we have happening at the elementary building now and in the future till the end of the year. So right now you should have received, we are doing the final ABCs of the year. So every day we have a letter that coordinates to something that we're doing for that day. So today was F for field trip day. So our students went on virtual field trips with their class. Tomorrow is G, which is game day. And that's where students will wear a sports shirt or jersey with uniform pads and be able to play some fun games. So your teacher should have sent out information and you should have received a robo from the school regarding this. But if you aren't aware of our final ABCs of the school year, please reach out to your teachers. Our mother-son dance is tomorrow. If you have not purchased tickets and you want to purchase tickets, I would call the main office as soon as they open tomorrow morning to see if we still have any available. I know at the end of the day today, it was getting kind of close. Our father-daughter dance is coming. That is Friday, June 3rd. Both are at the school from 6 to 8. If you want to purchase tickets for the father-daughter dance, again, you have to purchase them through our main office. We have field day coming up, which is Thursday, June 9th. That is during the school day. Students were sent out information regarding purchasing a field day shirt. So please make sure that that was purchased. I'm not sure if the link is still open, but if you have not purchased that, please email or reach out to Mrs. Vietto at the elementary school. Then lastly, we have our promotion parades coming up. We have kindergarten and 5th grade promotion parades coming up. Those are both going to be on Wednesday, June 15th. They will be during the day, but we are still putting all those details together. So more information will be coming regarding that. And those are the updates that I have regarding the elementary.
Thank you, Ms. Morrison, so much. This is Ms. Morrison, Assistant Principal at the elementary school. Mr. Anderson could not make it tonight, so Ms. Morrison is standing in the gap for him. Did you have something to share about the summer school?
Oh, yes, my apologies.
No problem.
We will be sending out information in the next couple of weeks regarding our summer program. It will be the month of July, basically. The dates are July 5th through July 29th. Monday through Thursday will be academics in the AM and then enrichment activities in the PM. So it will be an 8 to 3 schedule. And then Fridays, we will be going on field trips, but that's based on your students' attendance. We take the students that have been there all week and take them on field trips. So if you're interested, again, that's Miss Vietto is our summer school coordinator. You can reach out to her, but communication will be coming out in the next couple of weeks regarding that as well. Thank you for a reminder, Mr. Williams.
No problem. That's what I'm here for. It's all good. Thank you, Ms. Morrison. Our speaker lost power at home, so her internet is rebooting. She sent me a text message. She's trying to get back on. once our internet reboots. So we'll keep it moving with Dr. Venture in the middle school with the updates.
All right, thank you. Good evening, parents, guests, community. So we have a few updates. Won't take very long. Like Ms. Morrison just mentioned, summer school is going to begin, and it's going to take place over the month of July. The same setup. So we're going to have Monday through Thursday, the AM academic portion, and then the PM enrichment. We have invited a vendor named Fresh Nation. We've worked with them for a few years now, and they've been doing some things with broadcasting, painting with a twist, movie creation, all types of things that students really get into. So hopefully they'll really get engaged this summer. And we are rewarding our students for their high attendance as well. So Fridays will be those field trip days. We've gone to Top Golf. I think we may have the zoo on tap, but a few other places that we have planned to go this summer as well. Our basic calendar for June includes a lot of activities for the 8th graders. June 10th is their dinner dance. It's going to be outside at the field. So it's going to be an outside sneaker ball. It's formal up top, and they have the option of wearing gym shoes, just to add a little fun to the formality, to celebrate their year as 8th graders. Also, we have a field day on June 13th for the 8th graders, and gives the 6th and 7th graders something to look forward to. June 15th, just as the elementary school, is going to be our promotional parade, and more details will follow regarding that. We are definitely finishing up our last round of testing. NWEA MAP is going on for our school. And I know every time you look around, it seems like it's a test going on, but this is the testing season. It's April. This is, in my opinion, one of the most important tests in terms of what we can do to plan for next year, because we get the results immediately. As soon as the students take the test, we know whether they've grown, we know in which areas they need to grow, so we can plan accordingly. So tell your students to please try very hard, focus, and do their best so we can plan effectively. And this Friday, if you have a virtual student, a virtual 7th grader, we're inviting all the virtual 7th graders to come in to take the NWEA MAP. So we have the on-site students taking it now. Friday, the virtual students who are 7th graders will come in and take it then. Am I forgetting anything else, Mr. Williams?
You announced the promotion ceremony date?
Yeah, June 15th, yeah.
Okay, testing, 8th grade dinner dance, summer program. No, I think you did everything. I think we're good.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thank you, appreciate it so much. She's internet still down to Speaker's House, so we'll hop right along to Mr. Erickson, high school principal.
Good evening, parents. Thank you for coming out. A couple updates from the high school. We did have our art show today, which we will be posting some of our excellent artwork on social media. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And tomorrow, continuing with the arts, we do have our spring concert. So band students, orchestra students, our dance class, as well as our vocal students will all be performing tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the district auditorium. Last concert was in our gymnasium. This will be back in the district auditorium. First one there in a while. So please come out and support. And looking ahead to summer school, we do have 3 different programs going on for our current 9th, 10th, 11th graders. We do have a credit recovery program from July 5th through July 29th. Students will have the option of taking 1 or 2 classes, either from 8 to 10 or 10 to 12, or 2 if they are needed. We have a Jump Start program, which is our incoming 9th grade students, so current 8th grade students. And those are the same dates, essentially the month of July. And those students are going to have the opportunity to take an elective, 2 electives on Mondays and Tuesdays to kind of experience graphic design, JROTC, some of the electives we have in the high school, and then possibly change their course request for the fall and get in the electives that they like. So that'll be an option the first 2 days of the week. Wednesday and Thursday, they're going to be working with their core teachers to kind of build up some basic skills and get them prepared. And then Friday's field trip day. So that's a Jumpstart program, also 8 to 12 for our incoming 9th grade students. And our third program is the dual enrollment program. At this point, students would have already needed to have signed up, but that is from June 27th to August 18th. If you do have a student who applied and was accepted to that program, those are college courses that are on site at the high school. And if you have a student who is not enrolled, they can apply next summer or for the fall or spring as well. And that is all for the high school.
Thanks so much, Mr. Erickson from the high school with the high school updates. Parents, again, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We'll check the chat as our speaker is speaking. And without further ado, I see Ms. Spidey was able to come back. The internet booted back up. I know it's bad weather out there. It's raining, so we're gonna have her just come right in and hop right in and get it going. Thank you, Ms. Spidey.
Everyone, good evening. Again, I'm so sorry. I'm in Westland and the storm is kind of hovering over us. So literally as I was clicking in, it clicked me out. I am so glad that you are here. I'm going to jump into the presentation that I have for us tonight on mental health. And I think it was really good for me because what it allowed me to do is to not stress out. So I think I got a good lesson in what to do when it's like, oh no, I'm freaking out. Calm down, take a breath. It's going to be okay. So parents, as you probably already know, the purpose of us spending time together tonight is because we want to raise the issue of mental health as May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I'm going to go through really quickly, just asking us because I'm excited to have it where it's live so parents can kind of join in, ask questions and make statements. I'm going to ask us to please just be mindful of our airtime so that we can make sure we hear from everybody. I'm hoping that you have something to kind of capture notes because the thought, the anticipation is that something's going to be said that's going to kind of make you think a little bit deeper about certain things. And then again, in all of the spaces where I facilitate, we have a working agreement where we commit to be respectful, to be responsible, and to be safe in the space and in the time that we share together. So I want you to know that you are invited to engage because knowledge is power. And I'm looking forward to having some questions being asked or some thoughts being expounded upon during this time. So here's a couple of things that I want you to know about me. Who is this presenter that Chandler Park has in front of you? First, I want you to know that I'm glad that you're here. I want you to know that I'm a mom of 5. I have a graduating senior in my house who is driving me crazy right now because prom is next week and graduation is the following week. So I'm moving, I'm in motion. I have 2 college students and I have 2 underneath my senior who is a junior and a sophomore. So I understand what it is to have to deal with the challenges that our students, that our children are dealing with as they're dealing with living in a post-COVID world. Interesting stuff. I want to encourage parents that you use my word for the day. My word for the day is grace. I believe in giving myself grace every day. So I want to encourage you to adopt that mindset that we do the best we can with what we have in the time that we have it. I want you to know that there's a safe space, that there's no such thing as a stupid question. If you are asking that question, 9 times out of 10, somebody else in the group has that question. So I'm going to thank those of you in advance that are brave enough to put the question in the space. Thank you. I need you to know your voices are valuable and that we honor the fact that you are the expert of your child. I know that we don't know what we don't know. So that's one of the reasons why we're sharing this time together. I want you to be kind to yourself and honor your thoughts and your feelings. And I know that we're going to be better people because we are spending time together today. So I'm going to open up. The title of the slide is Confessions of Your Facilitator. I always start right here because I want to say to everyone, whenever I facilitate meetings about mental health, I want to address the fact that I was a person who had to be sensitized to this idea of what mental health is and how to speak about it in a way that is inviting for myself, When I'm not okay, telling myself it's okay that you're not okay, let's deal with it. And then being sensitive to my children having mental health. And I know I have parents on the line. I won't ask you to raise your hand. But I know for me as a parent, I used to say to my kids, my problems are real problems. Keeping a roof over your head, putting food on the table, those problems are real problems. Whatever you're talking about is not a real problem. But parents, I want you to know that I've learned that just like the problems in my life are real to me, that the problems in my children's lives are real to them. Very important for us to know. But I want to tell you, when I initially started on this journey, these were some of my phrases that I had. Get over it. I used to tell me, just get over it. It's not that deep. Or I'm not going to be weak. I had this idea that asking for help was weakness, but I've come to understand that it takes a strong person to ask for what they need and to ask for what they want and even to ask for what they expect. And I said this to myself, I don't have time to be depressed. I just don't have time to deal with my own emotions. And my personal favorite one is Black people don't do therapy, we do Jesus. So these are some of the things coming into the concept of mental health that I said about mental health before I learned what it was and why it was important. Okay. I think we still have time because I really want to share this video with you on breaking the stigma. Let me see if I can get it. Let's see if my technology will work for me. You know what? Let me do this first. I think I have to stop sharing.
You know that feeling where your thoughts...
Because I don't think you guys can hear me. So hold on one second. Let me stop the share. And I have to share it again because for some reason, with all the things Zoom has done, they haven't figured out yet how to help us share video. All right. I think you all will be able to hear it now.
You know that feeling where your thoughts scare you or make life tough? Sometimes it feels like no one else in the world has those thoughts or feelings. No one seems to know how difficult it is to deal with your feelings. And it's not easy to share your deepest secrets. You might think something is wrong with you. Or you might worry what other people think. And all of that makes your thoughts and feelings worse. Our culture has created this environment of shame. Until the 1960s, society sent people away if they had challenges managing their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Over time, we learned that we didn't have to be afraid. We learned how to help people get better. We became hopeful. But there are remnants of those images in our culture today. Which is why some people still feel uncomfortable talking about it. The stigma has taken new forms too. With more access to more people all the time, it can seem like the world is telling us it's not okay to be anything but perfect. The truth is, everyone has thoughts or feelings that can be hard to deal with. So why do we make it difficult on ourselves by judging others who could be going through the same challenges we are? What if, instead of seeing labels, we saw people who are struggling and could be there for them so they didn't...
So the question that I have for you, because I wanted to give you just a piece of it, the question that I have for the parents that were able to kind of see a little bit of it, when you think about mental health, and you can kind of just put this in the chat, and hearing what the confessions of my confessions were as your facilitator, what are some of the things or ways that you felt when you heard us initially start talking about mental health? What kind of comes up for you? Or did you identify with any of the statements that I shared were my ideas about mental health? Anybody can put that in the chat. Mr. Williams, I think I have things in the chat because I see comments being made, but I can't see them on my side.
Yes, you can see the chat.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go in the chat. Parents, any statements that kind of stood out to you when we talked about mental health or the stigma of mental health, or did anything come up for you that anybody want to share, put in the space before we move on? Okay. All right. Well, I'm
Our
going.
parents are a little shy, Miss Madell. They're a little shy.
That's okay. I'm just keep going then.
There you go.
So one of the things that I did want to make sure that I share with us during this time is just to kind of remind us that COVID-19 has been a huge disruptor to like all of our lives, right? And as parents, I think we're kind of aware of how COVID has kind of shifted us into this new normal of trying to get back into doing things how we did them before COVID, or for some of us, being mindful of how I would share with you all when I started going back out into the world, not seeing people in their masks. That was a little uncomfortable because for 2 years, I was accustomed to not seeing your whole face, right? So it's been a great disruptor. So now what I'm asking us to do today is to consider the ways in which our children, our students have had their lives disrupted, which I think is at some point in time adversely impacting their mental health. Our kids' schedules have been disrupted, right? The way that they normally engage and go and do and be and exist, that's been interrupted. Their social interactions, those things have been interrupted because at any point in time, even as we see these numbers kind of doing what they're doing, we're kind of all on edge about, okay, oh my goodness, is the world going to shut down again, right? Our students' classroom learning environments were interrupted for a while. So I know for some students, they're still doing Zoom. Some have this combination of in school some days and out of school some days. And then some students have just gone back face-to-face learning. And even sitting in the environment with the mask on, the challenges of that. For some families, many families, COVID was a disruptor to the finances. And while we felt that as parents, our kids felt that too, right? And then just overall, our social way of being has just been completely disrupted. And so these are just some of the things to kind of keep in mind as we're talking about mental health awareness, and particularly developing and encouraging a sensitivity to our students, our children, around meeting their mental health needs. So all of the happenings in our society are hitting us all at the same time. And they are creating a lot of pressure on families and on children in particular. Here's the first takeaway I want for our parents to have tonight. I personally love this picture because I'm a visual learner, and I think it's powerful for us to see how our words go directly into our children's brains. So one of the thoughts that I want to share with the parents tonight is, what is the message that we are sending to our children when they hear us talk about mental health or people with mental health issues? Because if they are hearing us share things judgmentally about how we see people who need help and support, then I would suggest to us that we might accidentally appear to be uninviting to our children around this idea of needing support. Ms. Copeland, thank you for your comment. I see it. Yes, 5 grown kids, and you can understand. Yes, ma'am, you could definitely feel my pain. Thank you for that. And yes, I agree, Ms. Copeland. It is definitely a different world now than what we as parents are accustomed to. You're right. More patience, more prayer. I like that. I like that. All right. So our words matter. Our words matter. The way that we talk about a thing dictates how we respond to a thing. If we say that something doesn't matter, your feelings don't matter, what you're going through doesn't matter, get over it, suck it up, that's not no real problem, right? Then we will not respond to our children when they're asking us to support them, and when to sometimes they just want us to listen. And you all, I'm gonna confess this as a parent, I want to fix everything, right? Sometimes our kids just want us to listen. We don't have to fix it. They just want us to hear them. They just want to know, do I matter enough to you for me to be heard? So this is why when we talk about our children and what they go through and how we respond to them, we want to be mindful of how we're speaking about our children when they express that they have a need, right? Therefore, the way we talk about our children, it dictates how we're going to respond to the needs of our children. I have learned and am continuing to learn the importance for my children that I validate their emotions. And you all, that's a huge stretch for me. I will acknowledge that. But I noticed how the more I started saying to myself that what my kids are going through is important to them, and because I love my children and they matter to me, then what they're going through and what they're dealing with matters to me, right? That was huge for me to get. I wanted to make sure that I gave you all a little human behavioral psychology, because that's what my background is in. As adults, we have something called mirror neurons. The way that I can very simply explain this is when we watch movies, we know that they're movies, right? We know that the stuff is on a screen. But have you ever found yourself crying at a movie? Or have you ever found yourself getting angry at a movie, right? That's because as humans, we're built to reflect what we see. So what I want another takeaway I want parents to have is some lessons are taught, they're explicit. Clean your room, brush your teeth, wash the dishes. Those lessons are clearly taught. But then parents, there are some lessons that our kids are catching. And we're not saying it verbatim, but what's happening is they are getting the lessons based on what they are absorbing from sometimes our nonverbal communication, or sometimes they're getting the lesson from our tones, from our the way we look at them when they're talking. They're catching lessons, right? So the other takeaway I wanted to share with parents is our children are watching how we are responding to the circumstances that are happening in the world. And one of the best lessons I got from my godmother was my children will respond to every situation according to how I respond. So I wanted to definitely make sure that I shared that with the parent group. All right, I'm going to keep moving because I don't see anything else in the chat. But parents, again, I'm encouraging you because this is engaging and interactive. If you have a question or a comment that you want to address during this time, please make sure you put it in the chat. Feel free to. The next thing I wanted to share is that right now in our country, we are more aware than ever about talking about the importance of mental health. And specifically, we are making sure that we are cognizant, that we're conscious of talking about mental health from the perspective of our children. Let me share some statistics with you. This comes from the National Alliance on Mental Health. We know that 1 in 6 young people, adolescents between the ages of 12 and 17, 1 in 6 experience a major depressive episode, right? We know that almost 3 million babies have serious thoughts of suicide. We know that there's been a 31% increase in mental health related emergency department visits, right? These are our young people. I'm gonna skip over the part about the 18 to 25 because these are our young adults, but I wanted to share with you the statistics on our youth that's in the age group for Chandler Park. Also, we know 1 in 10 people under the age of 18 experience a mental health condition following a COVID-19 diagnosis. So if your child was diagnosed with COVID, there's a 10% chance that there's some type of mental health episode that will follow. We know that our young youth and young adults, they increase, not only did adults increase their alcohol consumption, but young people increased alcohol consumption, 15% for the age 12 to 17, right? Increased use of drugs, 15% with the 12 to 17-year-old group, okay? So again, this is a finding out of the state of mental health in America. We know that particularly the pandemic kind of exacerbated mental health for our young people, but we know that they were reaching out more and they were saying out loud that they have been struggling with their mental health. And the 3 areas for which they really been challenged is or where they're feeling these mental health issues has been in anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation. And parents, suicidal ideation is our children having thoughts of self-harming themselves. And one of the things that I wanted to highlight in this presentation is in blue. African-American screeners have had the highest average percent change over time for anxiety and depression. Okay. Another takeaway I want to give parents is behavior is communication. The way that our children are behaving is an indication of some stuff that's happening in the undercurrent. Okay. So one of the things that I want us to do is to be empathetic, to ask ourselves, when our kids are behaving in ways that are frustrating or challenging to us, empathy is the order of the day. Being able to not take it personal and try to slow myself down as the adult in the room and say, okay, what is this kid actually trying to communicate to me? That's what they're asking me for. They're asking me for something. I don't appreciate the way in which they're asking. Parents, I agree with you on that. Sometimes they don't know how to ask correctly. But the question is empathy. Am I able to look at my child and see beyond the behavior to hear what they're asking of me? All right, I am almost at my time. I'm going to take a few more seconds because I don't want to drop all this information on you and not give you a tool for your toolbox. I have a couple tools. Ms. Copeland, I see, is COVID making them feel closed in? Yes, and that closed in feeling, according to the research, is they felt very isolated. And I personally find it fascinating because I'm a sociology professor at one of our local community colleges. And it's amazing to me how, although our children through technology have access to the World Wide Web, right? It's amazing to me how isolated our children have felt during this COVID-19 experience in America. And that's one of the reasons why NAMI has attributed the increase in mental health concerns with our young people, because they feel so alone and isolated, and that lack of human contact and social interaction, real like people to people social engagement, not the virtual stuff, because the virtual worlds didn't satisfy them. So thank you for that question. I hope I answered it. Okay. Ms. Harris, let me to help my daughter who, oh yeah. Okay. Ms. Harris, here's the advice I'm going to give you. I'm going to offer to you. When our children are not feeling like they are at their absolute best, it's my job to tell them that they are so much more than what they believe they are right now. And I think as a mom, that is easy for us to do, because if nobody else thinks you're great in the world, as long as your mama or your daddy think you're great, right? So I think sharing with her that she is extremely intelligent and just constantly sharing with her how proud you are. And when she has these great moments of intellect, acknowledging them and being able to share those moments with her. So I hope that helped. Ms. Copeland, you are definitely welcome. And thank you. Ms. Harris, I hope that helped. Okay. All right. So let me leave you with some tools. How do we address our children's mental health in a way that is helpful and not harmful? The one thing I want to challenge us to do is to have a curious mindset and not a critical mindset. I want to encourage us to ask questions versus making assumptions. When we ask the question, and we ask it not what's wrong with you, the question is, how are you feeling? Or how are you doing? Or is everything okay? That feels very different to the child, right? So as parents, I want to encourage us to kind of, as much as we can, to become more conscious of how we're approaching our children when they are appearing to struggle or to be challenged on some things, that we ask the question and that we follow their leading in how to respond. Because again, sometimes I'm learning this, our children don't want us to fix it. They just want to know that somebody cares enough to listen. I want to also encourage parents that our children, they are people too. I call my kids little people. I've called them little people all their life. They are little people. And if we remember that children are people too, it will challenge us in how we engage with our kids. And then parents, finally, I know I did a lot of talking about the kids, a lot of talking about what the children need, but I always want to go by self-care, hashtag self-care. Be good to you because you matter too. Airplane instructions. This is where I ask parents, how do you take care of yourself? When I travel and I fly, one of the things that I really pay attention to is when the pilot comes on and starts giving instructions on how to survive in case a plane goes down, because y'all, I want to live. And one of the things that he says that I always pay attention to is if you are traveling with small children and the cabin loses pressure, the oxygen masks are going to fall, put the mask on yourself first, and then attempt to assist everybody else. As parents, we're sometimes guilty of trying to put the mask on our children without securing our mask first. Well, let me tell you this, parents, if you are not taking care of you and you fall out because the cabin is losing pressure and you pass out, not only are you done, the children are done, right? So that's the one thing that I hold fast to when I need to take my mommy timeouts, my parent timeouts. Listen, I'm an educator, my teacher timeouts. I got to make sure I take care of me first so that when it's time for me to give something, my tank is on full. All right. I am going to stop right there. Mr. Williams, I'm going to bring it back to you. Parents, I'm going to say thank you so much. I'm going to hang around for just a few more minutes in case there are any other questions or comments or thoughts that anybody want to share before I check off.
Ms. Brown-Spadell, thank you so much for coming again. You always are a treat to listen to. You, I just appreciate your openness, your honesty, with your struggles as a parent, and I think our parents can relate to that. We all, we don't think sometimes kids have issues. And they have issues just as much as we do in their own environment. So thank you so much for coming tonight. Again, we appreciate you. And what you share with us and try to educate us about how we can be better parents to these great children that we have. If there's any more questions for Ms. Brown-Spadell, just put them in the chat. We'll make sure she addressed them. And we're glad to have her. Ms. Clark, you got something to say? Okay, you on me? Okay, there you go, Ms. Clark. How you doing? So I'm gonna share a screen right quick. I've got a few other resources. While I'm doing that, parents, please make sure you put your student's name and grade, students' names and grades inside the chat so I can make sure that they get taken care of. Marcia, you got that for me, Marcia? My girl, thank you. Let me try to share a screen here. Technology is not always my friend. Let's see here. There we go. Can you guys see my screen? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, so Mr. Erickson talked about this during his announcements. There is a dual enrollment session for parents. Ms. Sane and myself will be hosting it next Wednesday at the same time. Parents, 5:30 at the bottom. You see on this flyer. You will get this flyer going out tomorrow. This is for our current 8th to 11th grade students. So let me say it again. So current 8th to 11th grade students, it's an informational session about our great dual enrollment program that allows kids to be able to get their associate's degree while they are still, as well as get their high school degree at the same time. So parents are interested in that. Please, when you get the email tomorrow, log on to the Zoom session next Wednesday at 5:30. Got a couple more. 1 second. I got a ton of community resources to share with everybody. I'm hoping if you have not received the CPA newsletter, a wealth of information. We're celebrating students, we're celebrating parents, celebrating staff. And as well as we always send out community resources. So DTE is having a virtual assistance day. I believe it's tomorrow actually for the city of Harper Woods, but DTE will be there. Salvation Army, St. Vincent de Paul, United Way, Wayne Metro, Superior Watershed. So basically, anybody who's in need of support of past gas bills or anything that way needs some help paying bills, DTE is having a virtual customer assistance day tomorrow from 9 to 4. Just you should receive this flyer inside the newsletter that went out yesterday. I was. The next one is Harper Woods Arts and Crafts. So with a ton of opportunities this summertime. If your children are not up here, Harper Woods, which we are a part of, has a summer program for summer arts and crafts. 3 to 5 year olds and 6 to 10 year olds, $55 per child, Monday through Thursday program. So if you need information on that, check your newsletter for that one as well. So the PPET letters went out to parents for those who qualify. This is a governmental program for all 3 schools for those parents who had students who were not in school that were at home virtually and needed some support and assistance. So you should be getting more information about that from in the recent future about the PPET program that the government sends home stipends for parents whose students were at home and not in school. Let's see. This was the Michigan Energy Assistance Program. So again, if you parents, if you know of anybody in your family, anybody in the neighborhood that needs support with paying DTE, current utility bills, energy assistance, state emergency relief funds for paying a bill, please make sure they get this information from out the newsletter. This is a program supported by United Way. And I think that's it for today. Is there any, one more I want to share with you guys. Anybody in need of any food? We have a community partner called FREC, which is the Ford Resource Community Center, which is down off of Ross and Kelly. They have their own building. They do a food give out. The last one for this month is actually May 25th. This was also in the newsletter as well. It's from 9:30 to 11:30, but it's right here on 15491 Madison Street, which is like basically less than a mile from the school. It's right next to the Fisher Upper Middle School, right here off of Ross. So that's all the resources I have for this meeting. Parents, is there any questions? All 3 principals are still here. And we were glad to answer any questions you may have for anything closing out for the end of the year, needing support of anything. You can always reach out to me at williamsk@chandlerparkacademy.net for any questions or any other principals. So if anybody, again, parents, do not forget to put your names, your child's name and grade in the chat. Okay. And so when do we find a question, Ms. Reed, when do we find out if the kid was set to go to visit the college for the weekend? Okay, so you're talking about the, I'm pretty sure it's the Galaxy Plus program through University of Michigan. So that was through DAPSEP. We're still waiting for University of Michigan to give us a finalized list of who was actually accepted to that program. As soon as we find out, we'll reach out to you to make sure if your child is one of the ones selected, what are the next steps. So parents, for those, UMM has a program called Galaxy Plus program for boys and girls for 8th and 9th grade students. And we recruited some students and parents to attend 5 days on campus. Phenomenal. In July, 5 days they'll be on campus learning about aerospace engineering and Victoria campus. So it's a phenomenal opportunity. Again, there's a lot of things going on in Chandler Park Academy. Please make sure your child brings it home to you, or you follow us on social media or the newsletter, or principal's newsletter, because we have a lot of things going on And sometimes kids don't bring it home, and you aren't aware, because sometimes kids don't want to be lazy. So make sure that you get the information. Any more questions? Any more questions? All right, with that being said, I would say go out and have a great rest of the day, but it's raining outside. So I would say stay inside, get your popcorn, get your chill on. Thank you guys for coming to our last PPN meeting of the year for May. But again, we'll still be sending out information every other week. There's a newsletter to come out. And again, social media through Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, follow Channel Park Academy. We send out something every day, whether it be encouraging, motivational, or something that's actually tied to the school, what's going on in the school. So again, thank you guys for coming out tonight, and have a great day. Thanks, principals.